I Test Classic. It's your boy Dame. Subscribe to Dame's World on the YouTube. Hit the likes, hit the shares. Let's get through the algorithms. We got a beauty today. Why? Because yesterday, from this video, Allen Iverson versus Tracy Mcgrady versus happened. Comparing highlights left and right, and I must say, both of them have a highlight clip out of this world. I don't know who you chose in regards to who won that versus battle last night. Put your comments as who you thought won that shit. But today is a little bit different. We bring in the verses in the Dames world, how we do verses in this motherfucker. And that's with the eye test, grading, criteria, category for category as to who was the better basketball player. Two shooting guards, two amazing talents in the late 90s and early 2000s, two elite level scorers. So it was only right for me to do a breakdown of this magnitude. You feel me? Like I said, we got our eye test criteria and we gonna get right into the shit. You feel me? It's your boy Dame. Subscribe to Dame's World. Let's get it as we let the video roll. So the first category is scoring. As we see Iverson get a bucket on Jason Williams right there off the step back. Scoring a 5 point category. Allen Iverson gets a 5. Tracy Mcgrady gets a 5 as well. Both relentless scorers. Oh, another step back from Iverson. Both could not be guarded one on one, and both can get buckets in a multitude of ways. So, with that being said, both these players show as the standard of scoring with the likes of Mamba and Jordan and other players, but high level top 10 type scorers. Iverson and T Mac both get that. So 5 out the gate for both of them. Shooting, 4 point category. I got Allen Iverson at a 3.6 out of 4. Why? Allen Iverson's mid range was nice. His three ball was nice. He just didn't take it as much. I think people might overlook the fact that Iverson was a good shooter. I wouldn't say superior, but a very good shooter, particularly mid range. Look at that pass. T Mac, however, was the better shooter. I have him at a 3.9 out of 4. Almost a 4, almost the standard. Somebody like Kevin Durant would be the standard. Chef Curry would be above and beyond the standard. Clay as well. But for a scorer, T Mac was one of the better shooters in the game. So I have him taking that shooting category over Iverson, as we see the mid range pop right there. Passing, 4 point category. I gave T Mac, as you see the nice pass, ironically. Oh, we're going to skip this crap. Always got a nigga doing ass. But T Mac was a decent passer, overlooked because they both score the ball very well. I gave him 3.3 out of 4. And I gave Iverson, as you see, a dime to Iguodala. Or not Iguodala, that might be Aaron McKee. 3.7 out of 4. Iverson was a good passer. He just didn't have players to really pass to and didn't have to take the facilitator role. He was more of a scorer. But when prompted, like right there, you can see Iverson's a great passer of the ball. All-Star game showed that a lot too. He showed his facilitation game a lot in All-Star games. So Iverson's the better passer. IQ, both of them pan out at a 4. So even category. Both of them play the game well. Both of them are have the know-how in regards to offensive and defensive prowess. Not too many stupid decisions made from these players. The only decisions you might question would be because of their high-level scoring ability that makes them a little bit more broken down, makes them a little bit more forceful than other players who aren't as talented. You feel me? Nice bucket. So IQ for defense out of 5 because it's very important. Iverson is a 4 out of 5 on defense. This is gonna surprise some of y'all because y'all think solely scoring when y'all think Iverson. But let me tell you, Iverson is a little man with a lion's heart. So he doesn't look little on the court. So like uh he got masked well and he didn't get picked on the defensive end. That just is what it is, even how little he was. And his uh passing lane theft as well as on ball theft was he's fucking niggas up. Ah. As you see T Mac post him in, his theft was something to be riveted about. One of the best thieves in history. So 4 out of 5 for Iverson. I have T Mac at 4.3. Why? Because he wasn't as good a thief, but on ball defense, he had a better range than Iverson. T Mac was not a mismatch for anybody, whereas Iverson is just simply too small for some people. T Mac could guard 1 through 4 respectfully, and 1 through 3 very good. One of the people who could guard a Kobe Bryant pretty well. Solid, stout defender, and a lot of people might not know he started off as a defensive specialist essentially in Toronto. So T Mac wins that category, 4.3. Now, ball handle is not even a question. Handling is out of 4. I gave Tracy McGrady 3.5 out of 4. Decent handles, could hit you with a rocker. Not kind of like a Kevin Durant level handle, to where he's not the predominant ball handler. Dribbles kind of high, but has rockers and has an array of moves to leave you lost. You feel me? So his handle is very good for a 6'8" type guy. But Iverson is a 5 out of 4 with the handle. This is what I've added in my category. When somebody's above the standard, I chalk up more points to them. So a 5 out of 4 ball handle for Iverson. I don't think anybody in the league, as far as ball handles, other than Kyrie Irving, maybe could be in competition with Allen Iverson in regards to handle. His shifty nature, his intuitive nature, his creativity, both hands, he was efficient with his handle. He was just something to watch in regards to his ball handle. And only a Kyrie, maybe a Tim Hardaway, a couple players could compete with the overall handle package. Even a Chris Paul may be able to compete, but his cross wasn't as dangerous. So handle easily Iverson. Finishing at the rim. Now, this is a good one. It's out of 4. I gave T Mac a complete 4. Why? Because his array of layups were good when he got to the rack, but his dominance in regards to finishing at the rim with authority and power. T Mac used to get up on niggas. You feel me? Reminiscent of his cousin Vince Carter. So once he got to the rack, it was a means for a poster for your ass, you feel me, if you wasn't careful. So I had him at the standard of finishing at the rim for a guard, while I had Iverson at a 3.5 out of 4. Iverson finishes well at the rim, especially with his array of layups and floaters and just trick shots to evade bigs down there. However, he's not privy to drive to the rack and just dunk on somebody's head. So that power at the rim and that authoritative nature at the rim, Iverson was just too small to have that. He would be a 4 if he was 6'5", 220. You feel me? But because he's not, he's a 3.5. You feel me? So T Mac wins that category. Driving at the rim, I gave T Mac a 3.8 out of 5. I mean, out of 4. Excuse me. Uh, T Mac's a very decent driver of the rim. Isolation, people aren't going to be able to stop him. I will say he's more prone to settle for pull ups, but his driving game was something to be seen as well. Iverson, however, one of the best drivers of the rim, I believe, in the history of the game. So, with that being said, I gave him a 5 out of 4. No one could stop Iverson from getting to the rim. And in regards to points in the paint, he was always a top 5, top 10 player in points in the paint. This would imply his ability to drive at the rim at will. Just an excellent uh, player when it comes to that 2 to 4 foot range, as we probably see him. Oh my God. Ah. Sometimes I just watch film, man. I can't even talk. Driving at the rim, 5 out of 4. Iverson. He wins that category. Post play, this is not even close. Iverson didn't take advantage of the post, so I gave him a 1 out of 4. Obviously, he's a littler player, doesn't more so perimeter based than T Mac. T Mac, I gave a 5 out of 4 post. Why? Kobe, Jordan, and T Mac, greatest post players I've ever seen in my life. Four guards. You got Dream, you got Shaq, you got Kareem, you got a gang of greater post players than them. But as far as the standard for guards, Kobe, Jordan, and T Mac, you're not going to find better post players back to basket, left hand, right hand, shoulder, left hand, fadeaway, footwork down there in the post than them players. So T Mac, one of the greatest post players in history. Easy T Mac category right there. Athleticism. This one is tricky. Athleticism is worth 5 because of the importance. You can dominate solely with your athleticism. T Mac's athleticism was a 4.6 out of 5. Great leaper, uh, lanky, stout, wasn't too strong, but a superior athlete on a day-to-day basis with his competition. So 4.6 plateaus him over the average easily. Iverson, however, is a 5 out of 5 athlete, as you see his athleticism right there. Pound for pound, as far as speed, the fastest of his time. As far as leaping ability, he was one of the highest jumpers pound for pound or inch for inch. You feel me? You caught him a lot of times dunking shit that you didn't know he could dunk, put back dunks from free throws, and his quickness. The only thing Iverson lacked was strength, but his speed and his quickness and his vertical ability was all supreme to even the Supreme. He was the fastest player I've ever seen still to this day. Maybe Derrick Rose in competition. You feel me? But with that being said, I have him being the better athlete. We're going to bring this tape back. With that being said, I have him being the better athlete than T-Mart. I know it's T-Mac, but you know what I'm saying? I grew up calling him T-Mart. So Iverson gets the athletic category. Transition. This is not close. Out of 4, T Mac gets a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 is average. You feel me? T Mac probably could fade away to the corner in transition. Wasn't the one to be pushing the tempo on transition. He's more of a half court dominant player. Iverson is both. And he's half court dominant because 1-on-1 nobody can guard him. And he's full court dominant because he's the fastest player on the court, always looking to push the tempo. And far and few in between players can dominate transition like Allen Iverson. I'll give you Bron in his prime. I'll give you Magic in his prime. I'll give you Kidd. I'll give you Derrick Rose. Those people can compete with Allen Iverson. But Allen Iverson is right up there with the standard in regards to transition. So I gave him 5 out of 4 in an easy category for Allen Iverson. Rebounding, T Mac 3 out of 4, probably a 6.67 rebounds a game average is based on his skill and natural ability. But he's not the type to box out. Not the type. I love that pass. Not the type to make uh, a intentional put his mind to rebounding often. He was just naturally big and gifted enough to pull about 5, 6, 7 per game from rebounds. So better than Iverson, which I gave a 2 out of 4. A little guy, not saying he's a bad at being aware of where the ball is, but he's not gonna come down with the board in the realm of the Giants. You feel me? So 2 out of 4 for Iverson. Isolation out of 4. Both of them get 5. Again, you talk about supreme at the categories and being above the standard. Nobody can guard Allen Iverson at the top of the key. Point blank, period. And T Mac is more of a wing player, like right there, to where he can utilize the triple threat in the post. And once he has you at that elbow or that pinch post, yeah, lunch me. Somebody call a double. Iverson at the top. Somebody call a fucking double or you in trouble. I ain't even try to rhyme. But with that rhyme alone, isolation, they both get a 5 out of 5 even category. Off ball. Now this one's good because I'm not familiar with either of their off ball prowess. None of them were reduced to being off ball. So you might see a little bit of stagnant nature when they're off ball. I know T Mac is a good like spot up shooter like that to where he can just be catch and shoot base. And then I know Iverson does move a lot. You know what I'm saying? So even off the ball, you would have to accredit to how he gets the ball with that double cross. Nice. But he's running around screens, doing a lot of things. He's just not like a Ray Allen or a Klay Thompson to where off ball is his mainstay. So I gave both of them 2.5 out of 4. Offhand, out of 4, I gave T Mac 2.7. Just from my Rolodex, I've seen T Mac be yet less useful with his offhand than Allen Iverson. Neither of them are like Kyrie or Kobe to where their offhand is uh, dangerously good. But I've seen Iverson's offhand be more effective not only with the handle but with finishing at the rim. I feel like simply he just practiced his offhand a little bit more. So 3 out of 4 Iverson, he gets that category by a hair. Crossover, don't even ask. Let me bring it back while we talking. Crossover, you ain't even gotta ask. T Mac had a decent cross, a rocker, might hit you with a hezzy step back rock. Oh, that's nice. Might hit you with a step back hezzy rocker. T Mac had evasive moves to break you down. So his crossover out of 4, 3.9. Elite level crossover. Iverson's 5 out of 4 though. Best crossover in history. You see T Mac cross Iverson right there. But Tim Hardaway, Kyrie, right up there with Iverson. But in regards to evading your defender, being deceptive, going one way, then going the other, that's the definition of a cross. Nobody made the move work better than Allen Iverson, so much to the point where they implemented carrying because of Allen Iverson. I don't think the nigga was carrying all the time. But nonetheless, that shows you his effectiveness and his uh revolutionary way of the crossover. So no doubt who was the better crossover player, Allen Iverson. Triple threat out of 4, I had AI with a 3.6 out of 4. AI will get in that elbow and utilize the triple threat and then blow by or cross you or even do a pull up. You feel me? He was decent at the triple threat. Just as a little player, he was more prone to be more perimeter based than to use the triple threat in them short elbow situations, 10 to 20, 10 to 17 feet. That triple threat is more uh privy to those who operate in those areas right there where you see T Mac at right there. So Iverson was good at it. T Mac, however, I have at a 5 out of 4. One of the best triple threat players I've ever seen. Again, one of those Kobe, Jordan, T Mac categories to where when you see T Mac face up, his pull up is so good. His first step was one of the best, Mellow esque, if I must say. And he could bang on the top of your head and he could dish it off. You feel me? So his triple threat was elite level danger. Right here, you see it. Right there, you see it. Perfect. I love when the videos do that. Perfect example right there, the triple threat. You see him face up, pump, jab, jab, go by, and one. Nice. And for that, right there, T Mac's triple threat is a little bit better. Or more better than Allen Iverson's. Killer. Who was a killer? Now both of them had killer mind states. You feel me? I would say T Mac's mind state gets slept on for being a killer because we have the playoff. Uh, he doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. His first 7 years didn't get out the first round, maybe even more than that. But T Mac was one of those players who was looking to come at you and give you the blues. He just had a nonchalant look to him. You feel me? Laissez faire. And I think off the court or practice, he might have not been as much as a killer as what I would consider a Kobe Bryant, who killed mentally, on the court, off the court. Even if we had an interview, his mind state is still looking uh, in a competitive spectrum. T Mac had a more chill vibe to him, but I don't think that undermines him as a killer. I gave him 3 out of 4. I gave Iverson a 4 out of 4 because I always saw that kill switch on with Iverson. Even his emphasis on tempo. You feel me? Pushing the tempo, wanting to get shit going. Iverson was one of those players to always have the defense on their toes, to where it's like, damn, he's trying to attack us. He's trying to destroy us. And that mind state of a I'm not losing. Even right now, you guarding T Mac. The Iverson was a dog always in a fight. So killer 4. Sustainability. This is a good one for these two players. They both got hurt often. I would just say Iverson bounced back from his injuries a little bit more than T Mac. T Mac had long sustaining injuries that kept him back, and even nice first step, nice finish, even dictated his the ladder of scoring in which he could have climbed more because of his injuries. Unfortunately, we didn't get prime T Mac for as long as we wanted to because of those injuries. So 2.5 out of 4 sustainability. I gave Iverson a 3.7. He was injured a lot, but he played through injuries a lot, and he had little nicks. He wasn't tearing ACLs and out for seasons. You feel me? Clutch. 3.2 out of 4 for T Mac. I think T Mac was clutch, especially down the stretch when the Magic needed it. I just didn't get to see it too often in the playoffs. He would face teams that were simply better than him, so he might give out good performances, but they would end up losing in the first round often in his prime. And finals appearance, I never got to see T Mac at that level to really boost his clutch rating. Where Iverson was, I wouldn't say like last shot clutch, even though both of them are last shot are capable, but more so Iverson is just clutch in big moments. So like the finals, y'all all know he destroyed the Lakers game 1. The infamous Vince Carter versus Iverson back-to-back 50s. And Iverson in the playoffs was just always in the mode to where it's dominance. MVP season, Iverson tore apart the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. And all that to me pertains to being clutch. You feel me? He took a depleted Sixers team to the finals. So you know it was clutch moments where he was needed and where he delivered. So I gave Iverson a 3.8, winning that category. Hustle, 3 out of 3 for Iverson. Elite level superstar hustler, always on the floor, always diving for the ball, always running to the ball, always giving it his all on the court. T Mac was not like that. 2 out of 3 hustle. That laissez faire approach is his character. So in that, you're not gonna find T Mac diving on the ball too much. You're not gonna find him doing the extra things that would catapult him not only to be a star but to be one of those one of one stars. I think T Mac was a little bit lazy. You feel me? I don't want to say he was just lazy. You feel me? But in comparison to like the hardest workers in this game, I don't think T Mac was one of the hardest workers in this game. I don't think he lifted weights, and I don't think he conditioned as hard as a Kobe Bryant or a Allen Iverson or a Michael Jordan. You feel me? I think had he done that, I think he may have gotten injured less getting in the weight room, and I think he may have been a top 10 player in the history. And if he didn't get fucking traded to the Magic. But nonetheless, I didn't see too much hustle in T Mac. So 2 out of 3. Grit, 2 out of 3 T Mac. Again, that chill, laissez faire approach. It doesn't pertain to grit. You feel me? Being grimy and getting on the floor and scrapping. Where Iverson, I got the 3. More scrappy, more gritty, more tough. Got that street mentality too, to where if you a square bot, you already intimidated by Allen Iverson. So grit 3. Team player, I gave Iverson a 2 out of 3. Never got complaints from his teammates, but it was murmurs of him not being the best teammate, which is why I lowered it. I gave T-Mac 2.5 out of 3. I don't think either of them were bad teammates, but the quintessential one probably would pertain to having less of a superstar mind state and more of a collectivist type mind state. I think superstars could be a little bit picky or a little bit hard to deal with, and T Mac and Iverson, I'm sure, endured that in their career. Coach ability, I gave Iverson a 1 out of 3. Now Larry Brown said out his own mouth it was hard coaching Iverson. So taking those anecdotes and formulating my opinion, I couldn't give Iverson a perfect score. You feel me? I'd imagine he wouldn't be the easiest to coach. When you're a superstar, you develop an ego. So I think that's something that people have to factor in. Like you get this level of narcissism to where you might become less coachable than the role player. It makes sense that role players are more coachable. Even though a superstar is a role, I want people to know that, but superstar is the role, the main role. You feel me? So Iverson got 1 out of 3, T Mac 2.5 out of 3. Skill, both of them are the standard in regards to skill. What I mean by that is you're not going to find 5 people more skilled than Allen Iverson, and you're not going to find 5 people more skilled than Tracy McGrady. Both of them will be in the top 10 most skilled players in basketball history. You just talk about the nuance, first step, ball handle, dribbling, shooting, offhand, scoring, defensive sliding, stealing, anything you can categorize, they're going to fill all of those boxes and not be lacking. Iverson might lack the post. That's it. But as far as skill outside of that, he has everything in a toolbox. So both of them get the 5 in that regard. So, in conclusion, if we count categories, let me count the categories. Categories pretty close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Iverson wins 12 categories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. T Mac wins 7, and they tie on 6 categories. So the categories Iverson favors. The overall rating, I have Iverson at a 91.4. 91.4. High A, one of my highest ratings so far in this criteria. And I have T Mac at a 89.2. So just 2.4 less than Allen Iverson, I have T Mac. Likely because of the Iverson won a lot of the he won a lot of the what would I say? The role or the extra categories. When you talk about killer, the intangibles, clutch, killer, sustainability, hustle, grit, I gave all those to Iverson. So that probably provokes the slight edge. But nonetheless, both of these great Hall of Fame players, my eye test just has Iverson by a slight, 91.4. T Mac, 89.2. Both A range players. You feel me? And with that being said, it's your boy Dame, man. I want to know y'all thoughts and y'all comments as we let this last couple plays play out. You see Iverson almost get the game-winning bucket. And one with the free throw, give him the lead. You see the clutch. You see the leadership. But then you see T-Mac on the other end game these niggas. So you got 37 AI, 44 T-Mac, clutch buckets, all exemplifying what I said on this motherfucking eye test. They both beastie, both Hall of Famers, no doubt. High level scorers, 5-star players, man. I was happy they made the verses with them too because this is a good verses and it gives you that nostalgia if you a 90s baby. As we see T-Mac with a tough float glasser gaming these niggas. But with that being said, eye test, I got Allen Iverson by a hair. Let me know your thoughts. 91.4. And eventually I'm going to post in YouTube my list as far as where these players rank as far as the point spectrum. So far, I had Kobe being 95, and that was the highest. I haven't done Jordan yet. Jordan will be higher. I'll let y'all know that. But 95 has been the standard. Think 91.4 is the second highest I've done. I don't know if you quote me on that, but you feel me? Allen Iverson is up there. But with that being said, it's your boy Dane. Let me know your thoughts and your comments. Subscribe, like, share. We got more content every day, nigga. It's your boy Dane. Peace.